Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Deep Rooted Self Love podcast. I hope you're doing really well and you're getting through the winter all right. I'm actually planning on recording a podcast episode on that, on embracing the winter and everything that comes with it, the emotional part, the physical parts, spiritual parts. But today's episode is the second part of the podcast episode that I recorded with my dear friend Zoe. And we're going all in on our deepest, most embarrassing, uncomfortable shadows, the parts of ourselves that we learned not to love about ourselves. Zoe's is being deceitful and pretending. Mine is being masculine or manly. And if you haven't listened to the first episode, the first part of this episode, go back and listen to that because it all belongs together. And it really only makes sense if you listen to the first one first. I hope you have fun with this, and as always, hope it helps you become more vulnerable with yourself, helps you love yourself more and really see yourself as a full, as an authentic being that has everything in you. And yeah, that's all I have to say for now. Keep listening. Okay, should we keep going?
Yes, let's do the next question.
Okay, what other judgments are coming up for you around this shadow aspect?
I mean, I feel like, pretentious, delusional things, fake, wrong. I feel like being wrong, In German, the word falsch is used in both instances. It's fake and wrong. So it's kind of like this thing. And I feel like with the definition as well of being like unable to discern or come to a reasonable conclusion, it's also like not being sensible, not being mature enough, not being being stupid, being dumb, being naive. That's kind of like all twisted into it as well. And with being pretentious, manipulating. I would say manipulating is another one that for me is like, yeah.
Okay, for me, so yeah, as I said, I'm gonna just say the German words quickly because I feel like that my brain will connect that easier. So männlich, hässlich, unattraktiv, it's so funny. My one of my clients had this once, vertrocknet. And actually, I can relate to that as well a lot. So like, kind of, yeah, it like comes all into like,
Dry,
like, yeah,
yeah.
dried up, like
Crumbled up.
unsexual, like, um, funnily now, I old also comes in there as well. And then unhappy, weirdly as well. So I'm just thinking of like an unhappy,
Kind of bitter
yeah,
old
unhappy,
hag.
bitter git, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and yeah. I'm also remembering something else where the shadow comes from as well. Like my mom used to always say about my grandma that my mom never found my grandma very pretty, which is so weird because everyone always says that they look alike. Um, and they had like a difficult relationship in some ways, but like she would always say about her, like I always found my mom like pretty like masculine. So that's probably where like the original shadow comes from, I can imagine. And also again, my grandma and I are always like have been always super close, and I think
Yeah.
there's again this comparison of feeling like my grandma and I are so similar. So if my mom judges that in my grandma, then she must judge it in myself, and I must judge it in myself.
Yeah. There we have it. I feel like this is the main issue,
Yeah,
right?
I think so too. And like, and
And
again,
when you think in that way about your grandmother and you being alike, what are the things that you are alike in?
lazy, that's the next one.
Mhm.
I mean
Yeah.
that's connected to the shadow that I also worked through recently of like being a stay-at-home mom and not working as much
Yeah.
as I think I should do or whatever. Again, like feeling like my mom judged my grandma for not going back to work after she had her second child, and like kind of being like, yeah, what was her reason not to do that? Like she must have been lazy,
Mm.
or um yeah. And then what else were we like, we both, I mean, my grandma passed away a couple of years ago, but we were like in her humor, just really dry funny humor, like really really sarcastic, um super direct.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I find my grandma actually, I think she was a beautiful woman, like not like the typical like pretty maybe, but like really really attractive, still very attractive woman, always running around in her fur coats, which of course you shouldn't buy now anymore, but still, like she was always wearing her Nats coat, and always wearing her heeled boots and stuff.
Sounds like my grandmother.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we definitely also trauma bonded in some kind of way when we met with our moms and our grandmas and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But and just to say one last thing about where I also think I picked up the shadow is like my, just when you see in your family the opposite being expressed so strongly, you
Yeah.
automatically learn like, oh, okay, so if it's obviously validated to be pretty, to be feminine, etc., then the opposite must be not right.
Yeah, and also the being driven and being successful and being hardworking.
Mm.
So, and everything that you express right now as a mother is like more like your grandmother, and then it comes in.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, what is the gift in your shadow?
Oh my God. This is always the hardest part, but also the most beneficial.
Liberating. Yeah. That's why it's good we do it together, because it's sometimes easier to find gifts for the other shadow.
Yeah. I mean, with the thing I shared about like being delusional in love, I feel like the gift really is my energetic abilities, and even in that situationship, I learned so much about boundaries, about respecting myself, about also energetic boundaries, and even this feminine and masculine polarity play, because I feel like that was also part of the coaching in that time of like the twin. How she explained it is that the twin flames kind of go back and forth between feminine and masculine, and a lot of that I see, but as in a union, as something where you don't need to be hooked into someone else who is your masculine and then you only are on your feminine, but actually that you hold both inside. So I feel like that situationship really triggered for me to learn how to integrate that for myself, to really stand in my own, to not need anyone else to make me whole. I think that was a whole lesson in that. But with being more like this pretentious or pretending to be, because that, I feel like the delusional part and being intuitive or energetically attuned, these are all things that I already own very well. But this pretending,
Let me know if you want me to jump in.
yeah. So what is popping up? I'm like thinking it through as I talk. So what's popping up is that when I allow myself to pretend, I also allow myself to play a bit more, and I don't need to be defined. It's more like I can be more if I don't, because the pretentious comes up when I think, okay, I need to, if someone defines me in one way, I need to stick to that definition. I cannot change. So if I allow myself that, I would just allow myself to be more flexible in my own definition.
Yeah, and like it's almost like trying on different costumes, trying on different ways to present yourself in the world, and also allowing yourself to be flexible in that, right? Like to be able to try things without being fixated, right? Like I think that's also always like the thing of like, what is if you were the exact opposite, right? Someone who's just straight, like just one thing for your entire existence, kind of like how you felt like your mom wanted you to be, right? Put in one box and just like keep replicating that for the rest of your life. Like that would be so sad, right? You wouldn't be able to actually grow and try on new personalities, new parts of yourself. If you think about it now, you're probably a completely different person than 20 years ago, right? Like, thank God.
Of course. Yeah. And what I'm also thinking is that I don't, when I don't need to be defined as much, I can also just be one definition at one time. So for example, I could take on much more, like a costume, also a role where I don't share everything of myself, where it's okay that I only share this one aspect and I don't need to always show the whole complexity, but I can kind of, with the example of when I got the compliment that I'm so stable, to just not think that it is pretentious when I don't say, oh, actually, sometimes I'm not stable. It's like, I could just accept that, yes, in that moment I am stable and people don't expect me to be just that one thing, but they can kind of grasp themselves that I'm not always that, or that there is duality to that.
Yeah. And again, I think it's just like the whole concept of shadow work, right? Like I am stable and, like I am smart and I am, like all of that. And also not your responsibility to make people see you in a certain way as well, right? What they grasp about you is what they grasp about you. And that's their thing.
Yeah, and I think that's so interesting because for me, integrity and authenticity is so important for me. And I feel like sometimes it's like the integrity is also, I lost my train of thought. But I think sometimes I'm a bit too much focused on integrity. And that I cannot be wrong. And the moment that I realize, oh, I'm wrong about something, I need to very quickly get back into integrity. Otherwise, it isn't real. It's like the same logic here, right? And of like black and white.
I feel like with your shadow, it's really almost like you already said, there's so many shadows in between, but it's almost like you're not allowed to have shadows.
Yeah.
It really is like your shadow is the expression of I'm not allowed to have shadows. I'm only allowed to be what I want to be, or what my ego wants to be, or what others' egos want to see me as and stuff.
Yeah. And I cannot be wrong. It's like, I cannot. Yeah. It's actually the shame around having shadows.
Yeah.
Double layer. Perfect.
Never making this podcast episode. Yeah. And I think for you as well, like as for me probably too, there is definitely inner child healing there as well, right? Of like feeling like whenever you are something else than people want you to be, you're wrong, and also having that connection with yourself, being okay. So let me see what I wrote down as well. I wrote down being open. So being open to change, being open to what's happening with the relationship with the where you did the twin flame thing as well, right? It's also being like, okay, I'm gonna just like try this on, I'm just gonna go and see where this is. I'm gonna try it out in believing in twin flames and giving it my all, right? Like as you already said, you learned a lot from it. And it's again this controlling part, right? Imagine you went into it already being like, but this could also be, this could also not be it. This could also be like me being delusional. You wouldn't have been actually probably able to find out that it was a delusion if you had been half in, half out on both sides all the time, right? That's why I find myself sometimes with like the situation of house hunting.
Of course.
I'm like being
Let's get back to the favorite topic.
of like being like, oh, like, am I supposed to be in England or am I supposed to not be in England? Like, am I supposed to buy a house? Am I supposed to rent a house? Is this a sign I should buy a house? Is this a sign I should rent a house? Like, dude, like, it's not helping me at all whatsoever.
Mm.
Like, let me just commit to, like, let me just try on one reality and see where that leads me. So
Yeah.
that I feel like is a gift in it. And then I also wrote down again, like, what if, can't read my own writing, what if this moment is also true, right? Like, what is, even when you find out like it's been an illusion, like, what is if it's still also true, like both sides?
Yeah.
Or like, what was another example that you gave of how you expressed that shadow? Oh yeah, so example with, yeah, exactly that, right? With when you were at that party and someone says, oh, you are so, what did they say again, you're so
Stable.
stable. You're so stable. It's like, yeah, and that is also true. I am also stable, the same as that
Yeah.
I can also be unstable. And like, I, as one of your best friends, I can definitely tell you, I think you are so stable in so many ways. Like the way you navigated, like the
Yeah.
loss of your father last year and stuff, that like, holy shit, that's so stable. But that is stable because you also allow yourself to be
Yes.
unstable. You would be, okay, this is all getting like so mind fucky, but like if you try to be super stable in that, like through that whole process of like losing a loved one, that would have made you even more unstable actually
Yes.
as a whole. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like my stability is rooted in my emotional process of going with the waves and the rhythm of life.
yeah,
So, and, but I think that hits a point where I feel like often, I see that whole picture, the complexity, and when it is singled out in one way, it's like, that is not the whole truth. And I feel like I get caught up in that a lot, where I feel like I need to always explain the whole complexity. Otherwise, it's not like, it can be misinterpreted. But
and
I
I think
feel like,
that's the inner child's part. I really
yeah,
think that's the inner child part of being like, but you need to see all of me, because if you have the
yes.
wrong perception of what all of me is, then it's going to be a problem later.
Yeah. And this is the part of, then they are wrong about me. This is like the fear behind it is the inner child of
Mm.
like, if I am more than just that one thing, they have been wrong about all of me, and then I'm in trouble. Like this is the main thing.
Mm.
But what you were saying about, I think how I came to peace with the whole twin flame situation was that I really allowed myself to, maybe he was my twin flame. Maybe that's right. But still, I choose in my human reality, I choose something different.
Yeah.
I choose to not be in that like space of being hooked up in someone else and like romanticizing someone or seeing someone for their potential when in reality they are different. So even if energetically I may be right, still as a human I choose something else. And this is, I think, where the real power in those situations lies. When you are so attuned and intuitive, is like, yes, you walk both, you walk with one foot in each reality. You
Mm.
walk in the energetic and in the physical tangible reality, and you do not separate the two or make one more true than the other.
Yeah, and it's again of like, how do you define it for you? That's why I like the word auslegen in Germany, so, in German so much, right? Like how do you, like, yeah, it can be a twin flame, but you can define what twin flame means in your life and how
Yeah.
that looks like and how you react to that as well. Because I would also say like my first relationship, I don't know what it was. It was some definitely twin flame, what do they say, soulmate whatsoever,
Yeah.
but like not in the pretty way.
Yeah. Yeah.
and the same way I would say my partner now is also my twin flame and my soulmate and stuff, but in a much more soothing way for my nervous system and much more aligned
Yeah.
with my overarching goals for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so what is your gift? What do
Oh,
you
my
see?
gift. Um, did I just no, I think I didn't have anything else first. My gift. Well, I'm just trying to think like my gift could be like right masculine qualities, like the same way that like there's benefits in being perceived as pretty or as very feminine, like the feminine version of attractive, I would say, is probably pretty. And then the masculine version, maybe it's attractive, but maybe it's or it's oh, I had a word for this the other day.
Handsome.
Yeah,
Handsome?
handsome, but like I mean more um I can't remember right now, but like it's still like a form of attractiveness, but like more in a masculine form of taking up space in a different way and like also thinking of
Mm.
like maybe you're being taken serious a bit more once in a while, right? Because again, like always when you see the complete opposite, like someone who's not masculine at all might be perceived as like this little cute little girl that is not really
Yeah.
able to like put a foot in the world and is
Down.
not able
Yeah.
to leave a footprint in the world, for example. That's something that I'm thinking of. um it's also honestly it's also the gift is also of like detaching, like if I really own that's also part of me. It's also one way of kind of detaching myself and making myself independent of my mother.
Mm.
Maybe it could be also a way of honoring my grandmother, something that I'm and my dad. um
Yeah.
um it's like kind of like a gift of being like we the polarities that we all in inhabit. And then also what I'm thinking of, which is like I'm trying to think how can put it, because like again pretty is such a narrow way of beauty, or like femininity is such one way of beauty, whereas you can be, I feel like I can think of so many really attractive women and very women that I find are really cool, like really cool women, that aren't like typically just pretty. Do you know what I mean a
Yeah.
little bit?
And what you find expensive, the women that you find expensive are much more natural and undone and wild and not as put together as your mother is.
Yeah, since I've done the shadow work, I feel like
Yeah.
it used to be different. It used to be me just like following people on Instagram who were really, really attractive, like who really, really were so pretty. Like I remember you were working with this one coach and you showed her to me, and I was like,
Yeah.
crazy that she has that many followers when she looks like
Yeah. And you also said she looks
she
manly.
looks
Do you
so
remember?
masculine.
Yeah. That's what you said about her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And like that's really how my shadow's holding me or has held me back. It's gotten much better, where in the past I wouldn't like show my face as much on social media because I'd feel like, oh, like I need to like look prettier. I need to like put myself in an angle where I look more feminine and stuff. And I think I'm more and more just showing myself in my sweatpants and like without makeup and stuff and kind of owning that. Um, I don't know. Can you think of another shadow? Another.
I'm curious because the fear behind it for you was to not have influence or to be overlooked. So I think there could be a gift. What is the gift in being overlooked because you are not pretty? Because you are not the prettiest one in the room.
Hmm. Well, I mean, I think it's an interesting because I mean now we're back to pretty, right? But like not the most feminine in the room or pretty. What should we go with?
Most feminine.
Most feminine in the room already makes me feel uncomfortable still.
Yeah.
um uh, well, I mean, as always, right? The gift of not being seen is like you can kind of do whatever you want in the shadows. Like no one can judge you really. No one really cares about you. So you can just kind of brew your own thing until you come out and do
Yeah.
it. But also like I'm just thinking about like negative attention from males. Like I remember that was one reason why I stopped dyeing my hair and I stopped wearing makeup for quite a while before I met Nico, actually, because I really went through this time where I was like, me wearing heels and blonde hair and and wearing makeup every day is literally attracting the wrong kind of men that I
Yeah.
want in my life. They literally are just looking for trophies. um yeah, and I really noticed such a difference when I stopped dyeing my hair, actually, which again probably is my subconscious also attracting that. I'm sure you can attract like a great guy also with blonde hair, um, and makeup and styled up every day. But I really noticed I was just attracting much more natural guys as well, that were more interested in my personality and not just my looks.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I think the interesting when you don't get the wrong attention or not as much as attention, you can be much more with yourself and also sensual in your own being. You know, when you are very present and you just feel yourself in a room, I find it very sensual when I am in a room with a lot of people as well, but nobody is looking at me and I can just be in my own body in that moment. That's kind of like, it feels like a lot of power, like sensual power, because like I'm not being watched, but I'm just the only one. And so I feel like in that piece, there's also this feminine radiance that can arise from a deeper level than just like the surface level of being pretty, but really in your presence, in your radiance, in your magnetism. And also when the pretty falls away and then you are still magnetic and people are attracted to you, it's like they are connecting to you, not a superficial thing.
Yeah, and that's what I'm also thinking, is that kind of goes in hand with your shadow now, of like they it's not pretending.
Yeah.
I think because if I'm trying to like just look like crazy feminine all the time and crazy pretty all the time, like I know that's not 100% me, right? I know that no one
Yeah.
is that. Like even my mom, she looks different when she's just with me, you know?
Yeah.
And we're at home, compared to like how she puts herself out there. And I think that's the thing with every shadow, right? Like you don't have this fear of getting caught anymore, and you can just be, and whoever connects with that version of you that is you as well is meant to connect with you, maybe. um
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think what also is, which is not 100% seeing the gift in being masculine, but really, as you said, right, that feminine that comes from within. Because I feel like a lot of what I talked about is all the feminine that's outside. Like I've only talked about
Yeah.
shadows of the outside, really. When really the feminine can lie within your character so much, within your softness, with your empathy, with the way you handle the waves of life and the emotions of life and stuff. And more leaning into that actually as well.
Yeah. And it's the like yeah, it's the true feminine embodiment. Even when we think about receptiveness, another reframe, you know, when everyone gives you attention, yes, you receive, but actually you cannot really receive them because you receive what they want to give you. So when you are not getting the attention, but imagine you are in a room with other people and they are talking and you are able to really listen to them, what they are saying, what their opinion is, and so on. And you listen to everyone in the room. You are receiving them in such a different way when you just get the compliment that they want to give you. Like, oh my God, you're so pretty. Even if you think about like an influencer, the interactions that you would think people have that are admired, it's like people getting up to them and saying like, oh my God, you're so pretty, can I get a picture with you? And they don't even care about like the real connection to the person. So when that falls away and you are leaned back, you can receive everyone, and then you really receive them. And when you then speak, you have much more impact, because the impact is not because you are pretty and people like want to fuck you, but because people want to hear your opinion because they have been heard by you before. So it's much more, because when you say something, your opinion afterwards, it's much more informed and it's much more connected, and people really listen to you because you've listened to them. So I feel like it's much more intimate and a real connection instead of just like the superficial layer of people seeing you as
And
feminine.
admiring you and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like admiring and connection are different things.
Yeah. And
There's no hierarchy.
something that I also just thought about is like interest. Like I feel like someone who is looking a bit different and who's looking like a woman, like like that is that's the controversy, right? Like a woman, feminine, who looks masculine
Yeah.
is actually quite interesting as well.
Yeah.
Like I noticed that because I think I've done a little, or at least funnily actually my ex's girlfriend, ex's ex-girlfriend, the one that was like quite short and stuff. It's so funny because she actually has quite the masculine face. Like she
Mm-hmm.
really has quite, and that's what people always used to say about her. She's really a very, very cool woman, to be honest. Like she's really has like a lot of charisma. That is the word that I was looking for, charisma.
Yes.
And I feel
Yes.
like charisma oftentimes comes with people who have like just look a bit different, like a bit different
Yes.
than what the society would be expecting and stuff, you know? Um, yeah, what are you
Yeah.
thinking?
I'm thinking charisma does not have anything to do with looks at all.
You think?
Yeah.
I think charisma has to do with looks.
I feel like charisma is it's the attitude, and of course like an edginess or like looking different, that's still like what is shining through is an essence that is individual and that is charismatic. It's like you're different. I want to get to know you, but charisma can happen on so many different levels, and connection is also that. And I
Mm.
feel like the charisma that you often think of as like someone comes in the room and they shine and draw in all of the attention, it often maybe a part of it is like looking good or looking the part or looking like well taken care of or unique or whatever, but that's much more the effort they put in how they present. And I feel like it's the real magnetism of entering a room with charisma is much more about how you hold like how you hold the attention.
Mm.
And this is, I think, where it's so interesting because this holding of attention and really shining in radiance, it's like the masculine is holding the attention and the radiance is feminine.
Mm.
Like when the magnetism and radiance, that is how feminine,
True,
how
actually.
energy moves in feminine polarity. So
It's true because when
yeah,
I think of charismatic men as well, like it's like, yeah, the outside is the masculine.
fun and open and connected and
Yeah,
expressive.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like creative and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, what I'm also realizing while we're doing this, I'm realizing I have shadow around being pretty as well. It's so funny now
Yeah.
that we're talking about this, I'm realizing like when I think of like a typical pretty girl, who I don't know has the perfect fitting little, or like has a smaller nose, has like big eyes, has like long hair, it's just like really typically pretty. I notice that their shadow as well of like that person must be dumb. You know, that person
Yeah.
must not have anything else to offer.
Yeah.
That person must just be you gonna kind of getting fucked over by guys all the time, because
Yeah.
all they value in her is that she's pretty and stuff, which to be honest is something that I know from like some women that is their experience. Not that they're dumb, oh god, I don't want to say that, but like that is what they like. I some women that I know that are like the most like societally approved attractive, if you know what I mean, have really struggled with being stalked, with feeling like they can't actually show their personality because they're so valued just for their looks, and
Yeah.
because they're valued so much for how they look, they don't want to break that image that has supported them. It seems like it's like a golden cage almost, you know.
Yeah.
um yeah, now that I think about that, so that I guess is also a gift in being masculine
Yeah.
or being ugly sometimes. And again, like I just want to, again, for people who've never done shadow work, again, it's not about being like I'm entirely ugly, every part of myself is ugly, but it's about being like there's parts of me that is they're ugly and that's okay, and there's parts of me that are beautiful or pretty and that are okay, or there's parts of me that are feminine, masculine, etc.
Hmm.
um, but and then I had, oh, and then aging also was something that I see as a gift in maybe
Yes.
like, because that's what I notice now with my mom, now that she's struggling a little bit with getting older, or other people, right, that have like their entire lives all their value has been on their looks and how beautiful they look. And then they're starting to age. And again, if you go after societal standards of beauty, aging is not the typical standard of beauty, right? Like having wrinkles, getting older, having gray hair. So I can imagine that transition to becoming a middle-aged woman is maybe also easier when you know, when you celebrate the parts of you that are ugly or more masculine or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
When you're not as attached to being pretty.
Yeah. Or again, if you've never been crazy pretty. I think that that's really is more it. If you're not used to having your value based on your looks,
Yeah.
but
And
more
this
on
is
what's
also
behind.
what,
But more on what's behind.
yeah. And this is what I also thought before, because basically it's about value. Where do you get your value from? From your looks, or from how successful you are, or how intelligent you are, and so on. I feel like that's really playing a part in that whole discussion, and that there's something innately valuable within you. You are worthy as you are in all aspects, and I mean that's where we are getting to. And but still, also there are different things that you can be valuable in a room, even when you are not pretty, and especially when you are not pretty.
And that, I
Yeah.
guess that's always what the biggest shadows are about, right? Like those are the shadows that hurt us most. That's another shadow that I almost wanted to use for today, which I haven't really pinpointed. But when I do a podcast on a day where I'm tired and I say a lot of and I say a lot of filler words and I feel like I'm not as sharp in my
Yeah.
intellect, because I feel like I put so much of my value into my intellect and my ability to talk and like think logically, put
Yeah.
things together and stuff. When that ability is taken away from me, I feel shame and I feel like, oh my God,
Yeah.
where's my value gone? Like I'm nothing now. Yeah.
Yeah.
A shadow for another time.
And this is how it continues. And I think that the interesting part here is also how it leads us into something else. You know, the shadow work can be so liberating, but also it reveals often like there's an inner child aspect that is triggered, or that you derive your whole worthiness from something and so on. Like there's more work to be done around it to really liberate it. So I think with both of us, with those aspects, there's more work to be done. But it was already like really revealing, I feel like. Yeah.
Okay, then how would your how I have also a question of what is the complete opposite, but I think we already went through that in the last one, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, how would your life be if you were free of this shadow? Would you feel? How would you look if you had integrated that shadow and learned that that is part of you as it is part of everyone else?
I wouldn't care as much about the expectations of other people. I feel like this is like the main thing. I wouldn't, you know, even if I pretended, like who cares? Yeah. You know, even if I acted overly nice to someone I didn't like, it wouldn't be bad, or it wouldn't do anything. Or even if someone misunderstood me and said like I was wrong about you, I'm like, okay, yes, because you know it wouldn't hold as much. If it's fine to be pretentious, it's fine to like even play and act, or sometimes even decide to hold stuff back, you know, to not share something, to only show one part of me, and to maybe even be defined. And this is like the other side of the coin, because we said like it would be so liberating to just play and be whatever, but it also would free up for me to just be one single thing as well.
Yeah, to be one thing at a time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and not have to be that forever.
Yeah.
That's the flexibility. And also what I was thinking while you were saying that, it's also like not your responsibility to make people right about you. Like
Yeah.
that I think is also such a like, why can't they feel bad about judging you wrong? You know?
Yeah.
You know, like who do they think they are to like make up that you're stable and you have to be stable for the rest of your life just because you are in a moment of stability.
Yeah.
And I think that's in general like something I feel like you attract a lot of people who put you on pedestals.
Yes.
I even would say when I met you, I put you a bit on a pedestal in the beginning. You know,
What?
like yeah, have we never
You
talked
never
about
said
this?
that. No.
I definitely feel like when we met, like when you were like speaking about a lot about like feminine, masculine energies and spirituality and stuff, because I think I used to, especially before I was pregnant, give my power away a lot, and I think
Mhm.
I definitely had moments where, you know, like kind of when I would ask you, like, so what should I do with my money? And then you would like be like, why
Yeah.
don't you do this and stuff? And that was definitely me giving my power away and kind of putting you on a pedestal. Like, why would Zoe know what to do best with my money? Why would Zoe know what to do
Yeah.
best with my inheritance, you know? And that was definitely like, I think now I feel like we're much more on a level, and I mean, even then we were as well. But I'm just saying there was moments I feel like where I put you more on a pedestal than I do now. Whereas
Mhm.
now I ask you for advice and I'm like, yeah, okay, like that's a very smart insight, but I still like keep to my own truth, rather
Mhm.
than being like, okay, what Zoe says is how life and universe works, so that's what I need to do. And I feel like you oftentimes attract a lot of people who put you on that kind of pedestal. And I just also want to say that it's not necessarily your fault, it's also other people's faults, right? Like it's their responsibility to judge other people in their life and accordingly, and to realize that no one is perfect, no one knows everything, right? Even someone who's spiritually connected is not here to know exactly how the world works and how your life works.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I feel like this is such an important piece to this because when I think about it, even in other situations, for example, in jobs where later on it was kind of this feeling of I changed, or they would see me. So I will just say one example of
Yeah.
in one part-time job, who I was working for would really see me as so capable and like
Mm.
I was so able to do all the things, and she really trusted in me doing everything and kind of being her ride or die woman, like. But then she was so disappointed in me when I couldn't do something or I made a mistake, as if I am like pretentious, as if I was pretending that I was capable, because
Mm.
I'm not in some areas as well. And then when I quit that job, she was so upset with me, as if, again, as if I was pretending the whole time, because she had placed this responsibility. She thought that I would be her ride or die and go down with a sinking ship in her business. And I said, no, I'm not going to stay in a business that doesn't work. I will leave.
Yeah.
And she was so disappointed in that because she had put all of these expectations
Mm.
into me, that weren't even reasonable, So,
And the
and then,
responsibility as well, I think that's really,
yeah,
and that's what comes up in coaching as well sometimes, right? Where
yeah,
like clients may give a coach the responsibility for their life, which is not their responsibility to
yeah,
carry. We're
yeah.
tools. We're here to support you. We're here to be next to you on your journey, but you walk the way.
Yes, yeah. And yeah, and then it was always this pretending and so on, and that I felt like I was deceitful because she had this image of me that I couldn't live up to, that didn't even want to live up to. So, and I think it's so interesting because for me it's like if I am delusional, and I am verblended, like I am believing my own delusion. It's like I am unable to discern and come to a reasonable conclusion, as I said before, but actually the other person as well. In all of these situations, when I think about it, the other person as well didn't discern and come to a reasonable conclusion or wasn't sensible.
Which is something that you judge in yourself as well, right? Like
Yeah.
in your past relationships, like why
Yeah.
didn't I see it earlier and stuff? And like,
Yes.
so how would you look at those situations now if you accepted that being deceitful is part of you as it's part of everyone else? The same way that being authentic and integral is part of you as everyone else.
like it's like it's not malice. I feel like it's not because I'm a bad person. but it's like, yes, everybody has an idea of someone else, or we communicate and we try to communicate everything, but there's always something left out. There's always more complexity. You cannot like you can never eradicate any type of deceitful energy or aspect, because you can never like picture the whole image. It doesn't work.
Yeah, and you can never.
And then it's like much more communicate. What did you say?
And you can never picture the future either.
Yeah.
It's again this thing of like, yeah, you might be 100% committed co-CEO in one moment, but the future might give something different, and that's
yeah. And then it comes out, and she reveals that it's a sinking ship, so I'm not anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's all so relative to the situation that you're in. It's so dependent on like what you're bringing out to the world is also dependent on what the world is giving to you, right? The butterfly.
Yeah. And it's always shifting, it's always moving, and it's not, and of course there's maybe a delay or maybe miscommunication or misperception, and then you get back into it. Yeah.
And what would you say?
Yeah, so interesting.
What are two action steps? What are two action steps that you can do to empower the shadow this week or in the next weeks?
One thing is, I feel like I really want to play more with how much I show, not feel what is the word?
Obliged?
Yeah. Obliged. Obligated.
Is obliged not a word?
No, it's the same. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought obliged is a word. It is.
To be to share everything, or to be like fixed, but to really decide for myself, to create this for myself. And I mean, I do that already. I have so many tools and teachings about this, like defining yourself so that you can liberate yourself, kind of. And I feel like this is something I really want to play with again, to even look at, okay, how do I want to connect to other people? How much do I want to share? And what is maybe a part that I don't want to, that is not even pretentious to not share, but like to hold back for my own, because it's my privacy. And then one other action step.
And how can you actively do that if you like were to write it in your calendar this week?
Oh my God, that's so difficult. But I feel like, I mean, to put it in my calendar, I think I would just do like a reflection session with myself to think about, okay, how do my relationships look right now? Where do I feel like this is showing up, and how do I want to show up? I'm also thinking about I made a promise, and I think about saying like I'm not keeping that promise. I'm not doing that. I think this is something that I want to do. And that's allowing me to change my mind, allowing me to be flexible, and to maybe say, okay, I was wrong about this, and I'm changing my mind.
Because I feel like there's these two parts in there that are like so strong in the shadow. Like on one hand, being flexible, right? Like being able to change your mind. But then also, and I think that should be your other action step, is making that identity about yourself, right? Allowing yourself to be like, right now, that is who I want to be, and that is who I am, and being fixed on that without showing all the other things that you could be, like kind of like being with the stableness, like kind of being like, okay, like, yeah, I own that I'm stable. I don't need to explain right now that I am also unstable in other moments. Right now, I'm stable. Even if people in the future might be disappointed if they see an unstable version of myself, right? Like, you know what I mean, right? Those two parts I feel like would be super helpful to to.
Yeah, and that's what I mean with making a reflection session of defining this. I think this is
Okay, yeah.
great. Okay. Yeah, so to really define, okay, how do I want to show up in all of these different
Yeah.
relationships, to define myself a little bit through that. Yeah.
Okay, then for me,
What about you? Yes.
what is if I was free of that shadow? Okay, of being masculine. I think I would feel because I already do it. It's not like I run around in dresses every single day. But I feel like I probably can feel more confident when I'm just wearing jeans and have like unwashed hair and wearing a hat. So I look like a boy. And like I can still feel like people still want to talk to me and I still have interesting things to say and I still have femininity inside of me. Mm, then I probably it's a bit of a tough one because I feel like in my relationship I'm working on being more in my feminine. So it's like I want to be like, oh, like I'm gonna just wear pants for the next month, but I feel like that's actually something that I actively trying to, incorporate more in my relationship of just being more in my feminine and stuff. Of course, it's not just dependent on dresses. I guess that could be maybe something, right? Focusing on the feminine inside of me instead of on the outside of like allowing more softness or being okay that the softness is inside of me and outside I can still yeah look more manly. I mean, something that I've already started doing is just like making stories and posting videos where I'm just not wearing makeup or however I am looking that day, and it's been feeling so liberating. I love it. It's so nice. Um, yeah, but now I'm already at the action steps. How
Yeah.
would I, how would I feel? Yeah, honestly, I would add parties, and I already feel this. Like if I go to parties, especially now here, where like I need to meet new people when we go to London, meet Nico's old friends and stuff. I can just like look however way I want, and I know I'm an interesting person inside, and whoever wants to see it will see it, and who doesn't matter. Like it doesn't make any difference for how I need to feel about myself, I think. Mm,
Yeah, and I feel like it would free up the opportunity to focus on something else, as you said, like focus on the feminine energy inside, but also in if you were free of trying to look pretty or not pretty, like getting attention, not getting attention, if you would enter the room and really focus more on the charisma and the radiance,
yeah.
then like that would be possible without even looking any specific way. It would
Yeah.
just be available, it would be free.
And I think maybe that can be also my action step to really try to focus on that more than the outside necessarily. Like even like for this podcast, for example, now I put on my new nice dress and stuff. And I mean, also that's also fun. Like I
Yeah.
that's the kind of fun stuff, but right as in practice of integrating the shadow, I could, instead for the next podcast, just wear a sweater, wear my boyfriend's sweater, and just trust that that's okay, and I'm still feminine in that way.
But I don't even think that's the point because you said that you have the both shadows, of being very pretty and being ugly.
Mm. Maybe
You
I'm
still,
focusing on the masculine one right now.
yeah. With the style and with the looks, I feel like what I was thinking is also just looking at what your expression of femininity and masculinity is. Even in your style, how you can even combine masculine and feminine things, have a feminine dress and then boots. That's already combining feminine and masculine, or maybe wearing just a sweater, but then knee-high boots with tights underneath. Like that's again feminine.
I know, although I think I would always then feel like the feminine aspect is still to make me feel good. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like I almost have to go like balls to the walls with like masculine, literally,
Yeah.
to be like, I can like look so masculine that day and I can still feel good about myself.
Mm.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like
Yeah.
that's what I've done in the past. Like it doesn't like I feel like these action steps are to like jump over your shadow, right? Jump down the
Yeah.
cliff that makes you feel uncomfortable. And I feel like that I think like wearing this dress now with like boots wouldn't make me feel although maybe, yeah, it depends on the boots. Like
Yeah.
if I wear my nice cowboy boots, like I would feel completely fine. I'd be like, it's a great style.
Yeah.
um, yeah.
But from that liberation, so let's take action steps from the liberation, from the feeling of something else is possible, and that's where you said like the radiance, focus on the inner feminine. So I feel like that's where the focus should be, and like where you feel the liberation when you jump over that shadow instead of like recreate, because I feel like the focus on the how it looks is again in within the shadows still.
I know what you mean. Okay. Yeah. I I guess for me it's like that's where the shadow lies. So that's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
like that's what I'm afraid of, right? I'm afraid of people seeing that masculine look. So why don't I just out that in that way? But I also see what you mean. Maybe I'll do that. So I'll try to like over the next week just have days where I just which I already am doing. But like for example, yesterday I was at the playground and I had unwashed hair because there was no warm water in the morning. And I went to the playground and was just wearing jeans and stuff. And I definitely felt like, oh, okay, like maybe other people are not going to want to speak to me as much because I'm just like looking not like as pretty or
Yeah.
feminine or radiant or whatever. And kind of just doing that anyway, which I already did yesterday, but feeling different about it, of being like, I'm still radiant, I'm still feminine, I'm still all of that. Um, or even like even if I'm masculine, and I think that's really also the point, right? Even if I am having a
Yeah.
masculine aura right now, I'm still worthy. I'm still
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think that would be so interesting if you really focused in on coming into a room in your masculine energy. Oh my God. That's the real challenge. I feel like that would break something open. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about in Sex and the City, Charlotte one time is
Oh
dressing
God,
up.
that made me so uncomfortable. That episode. I know what you mean. Where she puts the socks in her pants to look like a man. Oh, yeah, maybe I have to come with some role play to Nico tonight.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I mean, we always shifted between feminine and masculine. And, you know, even when you hold other people, you can like give them even your directness and your sharpness and your humor could also be if
Flatter my ego some more, Zoe.
No, but yes, of course. But if you leaned more into that, that could also be more masculine. Like if you really allowed yourself to be like so witty all of the time, you know, and if you maybe went to the playground and then really activated that masculine and leaned into that, would be fun.
Yeah, yeah. And I still think there's something about this Charlotte episode. Like, so
Yeah.
maybe people don't know what we're talking about. So let me just, so there's an episode in Sex and the
Yeah.
City, and we just kind of went over that completely because I knew exactly which episode you meant. There's this episode in Sex and the City where Charlotte meets an artist, and his art is to take women and make them look like men and then take photos of them. And at some point, I should maybe watch that episode as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's even and Charlotte is like really probably like the portrayal of my sunny side, right? Of my the
Mm.
part that I want to be, this like really feminine girl with always shiny hair and stuff. And like she's so yeah, she's just super, super feminine. And then she ends up being dressed up as a man and like has like socks where her penis is supposed to be and a beard and everything. So Zoe wants me to
Yeah.
decide.
Yeah, and yeah, in some way, because it's like, but I feel like that's a good expander story for you that really shows you, because in that episode, I feel like she was so scared of it, and also there she also held shadow, but then in the photo shooting she really owned it and played with it, and she even then hung up the photo or something like that. So it felt like she really owned that part of her.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I will
I
definitely
love that. I love that episode.
love Sex and the City in general.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the new seasons because I heard so many bad things about it. And even the way that the style is on the new seasons already looks nice.
I watched it. It's not the same, but it was still entertaining
Yeah.
and
Okay.
kind of nostalgic. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I think we're done here. I don't know how long
Yes.
we spoke. I love that we did this. So I'm so
Yeah.
glad. And yeah, it was
I hope it's interesting for other people to hear us talk about our own problems for so long.
think so. I hope it will be. Oh yeah, and if you're listening to this podcast, give us feedback. You can message
Yeah.
Zoe or me. Zoe, what's your Instagram handle again?
At Tabea Zoé.
At Tabea Zoé, and for me it's Nora.ring. You can message us there. I would love it if you like this podcast to give me a 5-star review, because it always helps me grow this podcast, which is kind of one of my main focuses with my business right now. And yeah, and let us know what your shadows are. I would love to know, because in the end, know that all your shadows are everyone's shadows most of the time. If you want to join any of my self-love circles, you can message me on Instagram, because I haven't updated it on my website. And yeah, and of course, if you want to work with Zoe, do you want to share any offers that you have right now that people can join?
Yeah, so I'm open for one-on-one work as well, but I also just am starting a group program, which is a 2-week mastermind immersion called the Crown Council. And again, we are in a group of women, so it's really like you can out your shadow there. And it's about like going through that together to integrate more. And the Crown for me is this new evolution of feminine energy or feminine expression that goes beyond these fixed archetypes. And as I'm saying this, I'm like, this is like, I am liberating the shadow that maybe is also the crown. Like it's so on theme, because the crown goes beyond one archetype but really embraces this shape-shifting energy, moving with as one with life, with the rhythm of life, and really embracing the complexity and the contradiction and everything. And I feel like that is really needed, like more feminine energy, and the feminine that leads, so that the energetic leads the tangible reality into a new paradigm. And this is what we do in the Crown Council. So it is a mastermind. That means that I am teaching and mentoring and coaching, but also it's this aspect of coming together as women, discussing the things, everyone coming in with their own wisdom and really sharing more and leading and walking together. So that's still open for you to join. And you can also find it on my Instagram and then find the website through there.
Beautiful. And I was so happy that you were on the podcast. We have to do this more often, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was so fun.
I don't know if there anything else to share. Yeah, I mean, what I always tell my clients is to do the shadow hypnosis afterwards. I have that in my client area. Which you can book as well. So if you go on my website, nora-ring.com, you can go onto my membership, and then you can pay for the membership. Even if you just want to join for 1 month, it's I think 15 euros right now. You can join for 1 month. You can do the shadow integration, which is honestly so worth that money. And then if you want, you can keep being in the membership, or you can cancel it again. But like really doing the hypnosis or the subconscious work afterwards, I mean, would you say as well, no, Zoe? Like I feel like it's so important.
Yeah.
It's really integrated on a subconscious level as well.
Yeah, yes, and the hypnosis tracks really help. And if there's anything deeper, just how we both realize, okay, there's some inner child, some self-worth stuff to take it even further. and to not just stop here, because the true liberation is the feeling of, as we said, a weight lifting from your shoulders. So if you aren't there yet, maybe there's an extra layer, maybe there's another round to go through, another aspect to look at to get there. And of course, you can always do that with a coach by your side.
Yeah, like for example, I
All
would
right.
say I feel like now I'm at a 6 out of 10 with my shadow masculine. And I feel like sometimes after just going through the questions, I'm already at a 2 or 3, but oftentimes I need the hypnosis afterwards. I need the hypnosis track to really like sink it in on a subconscious level, because otherwise it's just on the top layer, the 5% of your conscious mind. How is it for you? How do you feel about yours now?
I feel really good about it. I feel like I would say a 2 or 3.
Great.
But I'm still kind of, I'm still kind of nervous in taking the action now and really taking that into my life. And I feel like that will be also, I mean, that's also part of it. Like the other experience, you need to have some different experience for it to really anchor in your subconscious, to know that it's fine to be that. So I feel like that would be even more liberating for me to now like act upon what we discussed.
I agree. And outing that shadow, right? Like sharing in a group, I am masculine, or
Yeah.
ich bin verblendet. I'm a bit, yeah, deceiving sometimes. Yeah. And both of us, you do
Yeah.
also, you also do free alignment calls, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, both of us, we
So you
book a
can,
free alignment call in our bios with either one of us or with both of us if you want to speak to both, of course. Okay, well, then have a lovely rest of the day wherever you're listening to this. And I hope I will come back with a new episode to you next week.
until then, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye.